Hi guys, we have some important Solana updates today, including a very nice 2-in-1 opportunities for airdrop and DeFi yield farming, as well as incredible gaming opportunity on chain. So let's get started. So as all of you know, the meme coin season on Solana has started a couple months ago, and recently even the celebrities such as Iggy Azalea have actually created their own token. Mother has been going to the moon and back, and of course we cannot ignore the fact that the Crypto Banter YouTube channel has had $500,000 in giveaways over the last weekend, and they plan to do a couple million more over the next couple of weeks and months. Of course, they also have their gummy season, which is their Banter Bubbles campaign, where you simply have a machine running and collecting these coins in the background, and people made hundreds and even thousands of dollars for free for just having a computer running in the background. All you have to do is connect your socials and the Solana wallet, and you can get going with this in no time. But on a more serious note, we're going to be talking about DeFi and yield opportunities on Solana. So let's get started with Meteora first. All right, getting started with Meteora. So what a lot of people don't really seem to understand is the fact that there is a ongoing points program that is live with Meteora. 10% of their total supply is reserved for this liquidity provision incentives, or airdrop as they call it. And it's not displayed anywhere on their dashboard. So a lot of the people are not maybe aware that this is actually ongoing. Another thing to understand is that the only real tutorial you will ever need for this in depth is going to be on their website, which is Meteora.ag. And here you can see a 37-minute video where he explains all the details of Meteora. However, today we'll be focused on primarily the best yield and best way to generate as much fees in a short amount of time. And this is using their DLMM feature, which is Dynamic Liquidity Market Maker. This basically allows you to set up a very concentrated liquidity pair for a certain amount of threshold, certain price. For example, they have something called bins, and here you can basically swap your tokens directly in the app using Jupyter's platform. And here, let's say you have Infinity and USDC, and you're generating 0.52% daily. So a lot of people don't seem to understand this, but honestly, it flew under my radar as well. But this 24-hour fee compared to TVL is insane. Look at this. There are bins generating people 0.5 to 1% daily. When I first look at this, I thought this was a yearly APY, but no, this is daily. So make sure to understand the difference. All right, so in all seriousness, how this would work, if you have exactly one token that you want to LP, for example, in our case, since Sanctum is very hot right now in Solana, you have, for example, you want to LP with Infinity. If you go with Infinity USDC pair, which is quite volatile, you would simply swap on the platform and get 50-50 of both tokens. Before we get into specifics, we want to be finding pools on Meteora that have a huge amount of volume, daily volume, but not that big amount of total value locked. So perhaps Sol USDC is a nice example already because it has about less than 5 million total value locked, but more than 55 million in volume, daily volume. So that is 11x the amount of volume compared to total value locked. Another one would be this Mother Sol Iggy's coin, which has almost 10 to 12x the volume as well. The one we'll be using is, for example, Infinity USDC because it has similar numbers, so around 10x higher volume than the total value locked, but it is going to qualify us for Sanctum while we're interacting with it, so it's a nice 2-in-1. And of course, nothing is without risk. You need to make sure that you are actually comfortable holding both of the tokens in a pair, because if not, some incredible price swings can actually make the position completely one of these tokens, which is going to happen very, very often if we're going to use concentrated liquidity. So in our case, we have these three strategies: spot, curve, and bid ask. It is very straightforward to understand. If you have a token that you expect price to go incredibly in one or the other direction, then this strategy would work best. For curve, you want to use correlated pairs, but Infinity and USDC is not really too correlated. So the safest and general approach that most people use is usually this spot, where the price and the distribution of liquidity is evenly spread across the price range that you choose. So you can use the 69 bins maximum for one position. You can use even more, but you need to open up several positions, and it's not going to give you a great yield because we are trying to be using as little bins as possible to really, really have the highest yield possible. So for Infinity, this is the basically pair correlated with Solana, but you can use perhaps somewhere between 10 to 15 bins to make it not have to look every 2 seconds, but perhaps every half an hour you're going to need to rebalance this position. So you would choose the amount that you are comfortable with to put in this not zero risk possibility, and then choose the amount of bits that you want to use in the price range that you want to use. You can see the current price is 198. So usually what I do is I put it $1 above and $1 under. So in our case, I would put it in 197.5, as close to that as possible, and then to also 199.5. So let's put it somewhere here. And then you can see the ratio that you're going to add. So you have 0.17 infinity, 40 USDC. If you put max here, then you would need to add a little bit of USDC, but for our purposes, it doesn't matter. Simply add a liquidity. Try to have this in the middle as much as possible. Once your liquidity is added, you can see how much fees you're generating on a basically second by second basis, and the fees generated are really insane. You can generate between $3 to $5 every half an hour, about $50 a day using very concentrated strategies. Just keep in mind that you need to actually monitor this very, very often.
Hey crypto fans, as airdrop hunters and crypto enthusiasts, we are constantly in risk of being scammed from protocols and people that want to drain our wallets and enter into our computers. That is why we partner with proxy sellers for our proxy services, and the great about their services is that you can select many crypto-friendly countries and you can even mix a package of different countries for your proxy services. You can select many of the different proxy options, including your residential proxies. And it's super easy to get it. You just select the country, then you can put the amount of proxies that you want. Let's say that I am farming with 10 wallets. Just click on buy, and here on redeem code you can put a referral CCS15, and you can see how the price downs a 15% for all these proxy services and 10% for residential services. So don't wait anymore, be safe as an airdrop hunter and crypto enthusiast, so you are always in control when you are online. Use our CCS15 refer code, and first link in the description is your link to get your proxies with us and proxy seller.
And lastly, you can also stack strategies. So if you want to add a little more concentration to your spot position, then you can also just put this curve addition with a different amount of tokens. If you also turn off the autofill, you can add a single token instead of a pair. And lastly, if a token price moves dramatically in one direction and you're stuck with a bit of impermanent loss, if you really want to risk it, you can also just use this price movement to your advantage through something like a perpetual DEX. For example, when Solana has moved from 170 to 165 in a couple of minutes, I remember I was a little angry and I just took my funds and put them all in Zeta markets, put a 5x long on Solana, and exited at 169. So that's the beauty of DeFi yield farming. Once you understand that whatever happens with the price, you can actually profit from it. It is a very, very nice position to be in. You can also do the same thing on other dexes. For example, on PancakeSwap, if you're a madman and still actually farm a little bit of ZkSync, they also have this concentrated liquidity mechanism on their farms. And here you can generate both cake and an insane APR of up to 5,000%. If you're putting something in like USDT ETH pair, I remember putting like $6 price fluctuation on ETH, and this was yielding crazy returns as well, about 3,500% to 5,000%. So the strategy is literally the same. You just add liquidity and put super tight ranges between 0.1%. And then if you have like half an hour to 1 hour time frames between checking on your positions, then use 0.5 to 1%. This is going to yield some really, really nice returns between 750% APR to even a couple thousand, which is really insane. Just don't forget to stake your position as well, because you're going to be generating way more fees from the cake token itself other than the LP you're going to be providing. Now, in other Solana news, we also have something regarding UPROC. The token is live. If you've been voting on Jupiter Launchpad, then you can claim your UPROC allocation. And the Infinity is constantly giving us returns on these experience boosters. And as of today and tomorrow, next couple of days, you'll be able to actually generate extra yield on the best liquid staking tokens, such as Helios SOL, which have been announced that by having a high experience pet is going to be very, very valuable for their potential airdrop. You have Infinity, the token itself, and then Jupiter Sol, which is supposed to have an airdrop 2, 3, 4, 5, 50, how it's starting. So make sure to allocate some funds here as well. And they're going to be giving a 2x multiplier for 12 hours even after this event ends. So for everything that is time sensitive, everything that is relevant in Solana, we have a specific channel in our Discord where a lot of alpha is shared daily, and it is impossible to keep up to date with everything from just videos. So you really need to be around communities that are really in this space. We have created a Discord for this exact reason. So if you're serious about crypto, we hope to see you there. And if this is something that interests you, make sure to check the subscriptions page where you can find all the info for our Discord as well as an airdrop tracking application that helps you keep organized, up to date with all the latest alpha, and making sure that you don't miss a single airdrop claim with notifications and email reminders. Now let's take a quick look into the Solana gaming experience. There's this game called Backwoods that has been taking the world by storm. It is so fun. It is a Web3 game that I would play honestly if it was just a Web2 game without any crypto incentives. They have an ongoing airdrop campaign, and by simply playing the game, which is free to play, you get points, which are going to be their Leaf token sometimes in the future. You can also buy their NFT, but you don't have to, even though it's been performing really well and their player base has been going like crazy. They keep getting thousands of new players every day, which is understandable considering the game is actually super fun. They have their whole little ecosystem and universe, but you can read more about that on their website. For now, let's take a quick look into their gameplay. To upgrade your character with different kinds of attributes and weapons, make sure to start with melee weapons for AoE. You can carry up to 6 of them. With slow transition into the firearms department makes the best way to get your mid game and late game going. And then later down the line, you can actually roleplay like an actual tower near the end of the game, which is super fun with firearms. And that's a wrap for all the Solana updates for today. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. If you like the content, make sure to like and subscribe with bell notifications on. And till next time, have an amazing day.